Hello, cherished viewers. Welcome once again. Today's episode is going to focus on changing recurring decimals to fractions. In fact, we are going to solve the first example as we indicated in our first video of this episode. We have on the board here these two examples that we should change to fractions. So we write the following in the form x over y, where x and y are just real numbers and y is not 0, because if y is 0 then the fraction is undefined. We all know that. So we are changing 0.1111, 1 is repeating, and then 2.333 all to decimals. So let's quickly change the first one. So 0.111 or 0.1 repeating. So if we have it like this, the first thing you want to do is you will try to write the given number as equation. You will let any variable at all represent it. So you will say we let y or x equal to the given number. Then when you finish, you try and write them as two or more equations and then solve it involving the variable you have let it. So let's solve this one and we'll get the idea of what we are trying to put across. So we let x be equal to, like this. So we let x equal to 0.111 repeating. So you can call this one as equation 1 or whatever equation you want to call it. So let's call it equation 1. Then again, you see, we will try to change the form of this by multiplying it by 10. And we know why we are doing so. Is for example, if you want to change a decimal, a terminating decimal 0. Let's say 5, you just divide. You pick the this decimal part or the non-zero part or the number after the decimal point, and you divide it by either 10 or 100, depending on the number of appearances of the value after the decimal point. So this one is just going to be equal to, the number here is 5, so you write it divided by 1, and then you know that 5 divided by 1 is the same as the 5, so 1. And then the number after the decimal point is just once, so you add only 1 0. Good. So that is how you change a simple terminating decimal to simple fractions. Now the same idea, we want to change this one to fraction. So what we will do is that, see, if you are multiplying a decimal by a whole number, you are trying to change it to a fraction, especially if the whole number is a 10 number, like 10, 100, 1,000 and so on, depending on how the behavior of the decimal point. So this, with that idea, we will try to multiply both sides of the equation by 10. And the reason why we are multiplying it by 10 is we are assuming that the number after the decimal point is just 1, is the same kind. So you see that it is 1. So we won't say that it is 1, 2, 3. So we are going to multiply it by let's say 1,000. So seeing somebody will have 0.111, and you say that this will be equal to 111 divided by 1,000, because the numbers here is what, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. That is not the case, because in repeating or recurring decimals, what happens is that 1 is seen as the same thing, just that it is recurring. So we see it as just 1. So what we do is that we'll multiply this one by 1. So multiplying both sides by 10, we are going to get 10x will be equal to, if you multiply this one by 10, you are going to get 1.111 and so on. So what I did is I multiplied x by 10, you get 10x. You multiply 0.111111 up to infinity by 10, you get 1.11111 up to infinity. So you can name that one too as equation 2. Then now, between equation 1 and 2, what we do is that we will subtract 1 from the other. And of course, equation 1 is smaller than equation 2, so it will be easier to subtract equation 1 from 2. So now equation 2 minus equation 1 implies that x, 10x minus x. So you are going to get it like this: 10x minus x will be equal to 1.111 repeating minus 0.111 repeating. So that is what will happen. Now, if you look at it critically, sorry, this one is minus. If you look at it critically, you will see that, for example, if I have 1.111, this is repeating, and then 0.111, this is also repeating. I'm subtracting. Look at what happened. You see that this these ones are repeating at the same rate, and therefore, if you subtract 1 from 1, you get 0, 0, 0, 0. So you subtract 1 from 1, 0, 1 from 1, 0, 1 from 1, 0, 1 from 1, 0. So just like that. So you see that there's no need in continuing. So the whole of this side will just be 0. Because you subtract, you get 0. Then you subtract 0 from 1, you are going to get 1. So it's just going to be like 0 at 1.000, and so on and so forth. So 1.0000 is just 1. So that is what will happen to this side. So we are going to get just 1. And then when you subtract x from 10x, you know we are going to get just 9x. Beautiful. We are looking for the value of x. So what we do is we divide both sides of the equation by 9, so that we remove what is attached to the variable x. We divide here 2 by 9. So 9 cancels out 9, and therefore x will give you 1 over 9. Good. So if you change 0.111111 repeating, you are going to get 1 over 9. We will show in our next episodes of the video how to use the calculator to repeat changes. But in fact, take note that if you change this one 0.1111, this it's repeating. So if you change 0.111, just 0.111 to a fraction, you won't get 1 over 9 unless you know that 0.111 is repeating. So it's just 1 up to infinity. You may not know the end of it. So thank you very much for following this episode of the video. The next episode are going to focus on the different kind of the examples. See you in the next episode. Shalom.